Hi, Susan.
Hi, Jill.
How are you?
Absolutely wonderful.
Good, good. It's getting warm here again. I think I'm ready for some cooler weather.
My husband and I were just talking about today looks like another scorcher.
Yeah, I mean, what's with this?
Enough already. Jill,
And
where
I
are
love the
yeah,
I'm
where
in Fremont. I'm in Fremont.
Fremont? Yeah,
Mhm.
south of
So,
Oakland. Yeah, I know where it is. Yeah.
yep, yep. That side of the bay, though.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, Valerie.
hey, Valerie.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to see folks joining. I used the wrong Zoom first, and I was sitting there in the room alone. I'm like, everybody always starts early. I better check my
This
which
one is
one
an
I
early
zipped on.
starter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be in a Zoom room alone.
I've been there, Jill. I've been there.
Uh,
Oh, there we go. Hey, Jill, Susan, Valerie, how are you?
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Doing well, Jim. How about you?
I'm great. I can't believe how busy we are, Jill.
I know. It's like, I assume you too have started your DG visits. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you, and I can ask you with everyone else here. Have you gone to have you had visits of the board meetings as well?
You
Jill?
know, I'm leaving it up to the clubs whether they want to or not. I'm just happy not because it's a lot of time and it's especially with the smaller clubs, there's not a value to me because the board is pretty much the whole club. Um, so I'm leaving it to their discretion. I've only gone to two clubs so far, and both of them said, yes, we want you at the board meeting.
Oh,
So yes, I am going.
yeah. If I have any trepidation, that's the only thing, because I'm not sure. In the past, we go to all the board meetings, which is fine. It's kind of a bit loose. It's not supposed to be a formal meeting, but anyway, I thought I'd get your feedback on that. What did you
Yeah.
talk about at those two meetings?
You know, I used to go the other direction, trying to get them to talk to me and tell me what they've been up to. We sort of use the opportunity in our district to evaluate the clubs too and identify the strong clubs and the weak clubs and that kind of thing. So I give them a lot of free rein and give them a little bit of a, rah-rah speech.
Yeah, 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 and let each of them speak and tell and go,
Yeah.
and that's what I plan on doing. So, okay, well, good, good. And then after the meeting today, Jill, we'll stick on for a few minutes.
Okay.
Ironically, I've been talking to all kinds of different folks about hand wash the last couple days, so we can catch each other up.
Okay, sounds good.
Good.
Good to see Suzanne and
Okay.
Chris.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
can
I
get
didn't
started in
see
just a
the-
moment.
Oh,
And hi, Suzanne. How are you?
good. I just didn't get I didn't see the Zoom link before, or is this a master one you sent out that should have been on my calendar?
Well, I sent it out a couple of days ago. It's the same
Oh.
link that we've had. It was a nice
Okay.
note with all the information and a
It
little
was.
bit of the agenda for today.
Huh.
And so you might have missed it. And for the benefit of everybody else, Suzanne and I have been going back and forth this week on marketing. And I think we're making some headway on that. And so we can address that in a few minutes.
Okay, cool.
But
That is
there was
weird.
another. Go ahead.
I
Suzanne.
searched on you looking for emails and well, anyway, it's SuzanneBragdon@gmail.com. I'm just wondering if it got misspelled or something.
Yeah, I'll check it after the meeting.
Yeah.
Because actually you were the person I sent it to and everybody else was CC'd.
Oh, how weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate technology when it doesn't work.
Yeah, so, but we're here now, so it'll work. Hi, Hugh. And Polly, if you could put your camera on, that would be great so we could see you. Polly Johns is a member of our club and she's offered to jump on board. I don't know if she can hear me. Oh, well, why don't we start? I thought we had a great meeting last week or 2 weeks ago. Hi, Joe. And
Hello.
how you doing? And there's Polly.
Oh, I appeared?
You're
Where
here.
am I? Oh, there I am. I don't know
You're
what,
prob-
I was having technical difficulties. Nothing was happening and I was about ready to say, screw it.
Okay. So I was just saying, I thought we had a really good meeting last week. I think we're getting into the fun stage of putting the programs together and the speakers. I did have some real good communication with Jennifer Jones, and this really, I think, is the crux of this meeting, or at least the top at the top of the list. And she's coming in, and Jill, you had indicated she was going to be staying with Brad Howard, and she is, but she's coming in on the 22nd, I believe it is, so several days before, and she wanted to spend a day or two with them. So she's under no hurry. We had thought, oh man, if she comes in, maybe she wouldn't be here, all day Friday or available. She's more than happy to be here on Friday.
Oh, good.
And I mentioned the Rotaractor idea, and she loved that idea. I'll get to that in a moment because I did speak to our Sonoma State University Rotaractors, which is a very vibrant group. They even went to Singapore. So they're I really like them. It's a small group, but it's very vibrant. So I think that's in our corner as well. But the open discussion for all of us here today is how we can plan or what we want to do for Friday. And again, a quick recap is that the hotel, we have Friday evening in the main room that will be holding, our conference, which holds, what did we say now? We're up to 190 folks. So that's Friday evening. That's a reception and or some type of meal. We can put that together. Jennifer would be our main speaker, but again, we want to have many speakers and vignettes and lots going on in that session. That would be our first general session. But of course, Jennifer would be the highlight and certainly a draw and all that good stuff. How many saw Jennifer's presentation in Melbourne? I thought she could do parts of that. That was her Imagine tour. I thought that was a wonderful talk. wonderful visuals. So, then she can bring that around to Peace, but, we can plan that with her, as we go along. But Friday afternoon is when the suggestion was, I think from the group last time, well, why don't we do something with Rotaractors? And it's one of Jennifer Jones's, heartstrings, that she loves. And so, that's what we can do, but we're gonna need a venue or venues, whether it's a ball, ballroom type thing or breakout sessions. We have always promoted the Peace Conference as Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So starting earlier Friday is not except for we need the space. And Suzanne.
Are there any spaces at the university or the college? When we were trying to do something with Jennifer on Rotaractors, we were leaning toward I know it's not drinking, but I mean appetizers and being able to mingle as opposed to a sit-down dinner. And usually a college will have lots of flexibility with those types of spaces as opposed to a ballroom, which you'll be doing for the dinner. Have another idea for you. And I didn't have this meeting on my calendar, so I'm sorry I didn't email you before. But in our area, there's a lot of concern with the unhoused and the homeless, and the youth are engaged with that. And we have access to a film that was produced by a documentarian, and we have access to his film. It premiered at the UC Santa Barbara Film Festival a year and a half ago, and he might be available to show it, and he might be able to also come and talk about it. And I thought that might be something that youth would be interested in.
Yeah, you had mentioned him before, and yeah, I'm certainly.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't remember his name. I have a note somewhere. on
Kevin,
that.
or no, Paul Freeman.
Right. No,
Oh,
that's
okay. I'm
great.
sorry, I forgot.
Well, I think because, things have been up and down and in and out, keep mentioning things, folks, because we need, and it has to sink into all of us.
Yeah.
And now that we're in this planning stage, yeah, I'm certainly open to that. What I was hoping the outcome of today would be maybe a couple of you who really want to dig into this, this particular, part of the event. I did talk to the two advisors we have in 5130 for the SSU Rotaractors. They are very excited. They did speak to the Rotaractors, so they wanted to meet with me on the 20th of this month, which is next Saturday, and see where they could fit in. I'd like to see or know about the Rotaractors in the other districts and how we can pull them together and what clubs, are in 5150, Hugh or Joe and Jill, your district. I don't know, and Chris, 5220. We can take this wherever we can take this. I think it's really up to all of us to do that. But I know that, Jill and I, before a couple of you got on, were just lamenting our woes of being governor right now. And we don't have the time to really pull this together.
Yeah.
But if a couple of you would like to help out, we do have the starting point of Sonoma State, and the advisors and the Rotaractors there. So what are your thoughts on that?
Let me just jump in real quick and say, we've been looking for something to revitalize our Rotaract clubs. We haven't even had a district governor for a couple of years now. And COVID, it just like our clubs all unraveled somehow.
Yeah.
And so I can reach out, hopefully, we have, I think, one that's still intact in Berkeley.
Oh, big
and
time.
That's pretty accessible, and maybe we can get them involved too. But it's pretty much a solo club at this point. There's one other, but it too is just, they're both so much smaller than they were before.
Yeah, I've got a good relationship with our Berkeley Rotaractor team. And the other one we have that's big is Chico and Davis. The challenge is I just don't know how Friday works, but you know, with calendars and whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy to work on this with somebody. It's not a solo job though for Friday.
Yeah, and the event too on Friday, I mean, it could start at 2 o'clock. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a luncheon, doesn't have to
Right,
be all
right.
day affair, it could be a couple of hours.
Hmm.
We also, this could be part of the Rotarian experience at the Peace Conference. It's not, you know, it can be, it's really wherever we want to take it. So,
Mhm.
you know, I like the idea, Susanna, the film and maybe some other things that our attendees can go to this as well. We just want to focus on the directors.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, the event we were trying to plan with Jennifer Jones, Rotarians were invited as well. But we really were working with the Rotaractors to pull it together. So it was something of their interest. We didn't want just Rotarians to show up.
Right. Oh, absolutely. What about 5150? Any thoughts on the Rotaract clubs down there?
Do
I'm
we
not
have
that familiar.
anything
Hugh,
5150
do you
here?
have any? Yeah,
Not as familiar with the Rotaract clubs in
I'm not
51.
either.
I know there's one or two for sure. I want to say Foster City. I thought there was one in Marin, but I'd have to check with the folks, you know, that deal with the Rotaract. I do know we do have quite a few Interact clubs, but Rotaract I'm not quite sure about.
I'm not either. So Suzanne, what's the film about? It's about the unhoused, or
Yeah, it's actually it's a 5-year project working with the area Skid Row in LA. And so it deals with all of the issues. It's really so we have a big initiative on the unhoused going on in District 5160. And our first priority is to change the perceptions of what being homeless really is. And so it's involving a lot of people that are living on the street, and you're learning more about their stories. I can send everybody an interview that highlights what it's all about and a trailer, just to give you more feedback on that. I can get that to, would that be you, Jim? And then you send it out to everybody?
Yeah, that probably would be easiest.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we could pair the film with like a hands-on service project after watching the film or something. You know, that would seem
That's a good idea. I'm not sure what that would look like, but definitely a good idea. Definitely a good idea.
You know, and personally, I'm not opposed at any to have interactors attend and or youth exchange students.
Oh,
We were planning on them Sunday morning, which we
Sunday, yeah.
do,
mm-hmm.
but you know, it really is up to us. It's our bailiwick wherever we want to take it. So,
Okay. Oh, I just started having ideas pop in my head for the hands-on part. Thank you, Joe.
Did Jennifer give you any idea about successful Rotaractor events with her during her year? How they
yeah, that's a good question. No, I think it was just, would she be interested in this? And
Mm.
she was enthusiastic about doing that. So I think it's really up to us. She's just willing to be there and to participate. So Suzanne, I can get you in touch with, you know, the two active Rotarian advisors for the Sonoma State.
Perfect.
And I think they would be very helpful. I think
Okay.
the kids at the young people at Sonoma State would be helpful as well. But
Who are
Okay.
the advisors?
what's that?
Who are the advisors?
Alice Kabwabwe and Mary Graves.
Mary, I know. Yeah, okay.
Polly, you can jump right in.
Well, mostly I'm listening today.
Okay,
to see if this is something that I'm in a position to jump into.
okay, no
You
problem.
get my drift.
But I nudge you. Any other thoughts on Friday? We want to kind of get this put together as soon as we can, especially so we can budget it. You know, right now, that's the other thing, Suzanne, is this was not part of the budget. I just did the budget out. So we're gonna have to think about what we can do with that. Perhaps it means, getting some additional sponsors.
Actually, you segued perfectly. So Sheila Hurst, who had to unfortunately drop off of this team, which is very sad because she has lots of skills, but I understand her schedule. She has contacts with Black Bear Diner,
Mm.
the big franchise. And so I don't know if she'd work with you, Chris. She knows the people well enough that she would want to do the outreach for us, so that makes it really easy.
Yeah.
But she has questions of all the stuff we're kind of doing, just so she can make the best approach. I did ask her how much money she thought, and she didn't really give me even a figure. But we're talking people that own multiple franchises,
Mhm.
right? And so she was getting into, like, since this is a multi-district event, there will be people attending from all over. And how many Black Bear Diners are there?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a positive. In terms of showing the film, there's no cost for that, but there could be travel expenses for Paul Friedman. And he's in LA, so I mean, not huge, not flying in from his projects in Africa that he's working on right now. But anyway,
Why don't I have Jeff Colin, who's in our district, who's on this committee helping with sponsorship. And I thought he'd be on the call today, but that's okay. I'm gonna see him in a few days. Reach out to Sheila, would that be the best thing?
perfect.
And let them coordinate talking to Black Bear. I'm looking for my thing here. Actually, the next topic is sponsors. And I think we're moving slowly along on that, but I think I'd like to have a little bit of a discussion on other ideas for gaining some sponsors. Jeff will reach out to them. And I think it is really important that we have some connection like a Sheila or someone with Black Bear. So this is to all of us. Any thoughts on who we may be able to approach to sponsor? Or to join in with the sponsors that we have?
What kind of price range are you looking at for sponsors?
Well, I was hoping Jeff would be on the call, but I think it's from 500 to a couple of $1,000. So
Okay.
it's fairly small. Maybe someone like Black Bear could do the whole thing and they'd be, 10,000 or something. But or I don't know.
Let me ask a related question, kind of going back to Sonoma College. Do you have relationships where they're able to provide space, or would you have to pay for space, or do you know?
I don't know, but being part of the Rotaract Club, I think that should help,
Okay.
if it goes through the club. But I just don't have that detail. That's what we hope to explore over the next couple weeks.
Okay.
How
Okay.
far away from the hotel site is that?
2, 3, 4 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah.
And we could even, if it gets to that point, try to, if we need to provide shuttles or something, we could figure that out.
Yeah.
Valerie.
Mary Graves would be the person you want to talk to about using space at Sonoma State. I believe she may have retired, but she was a professor there for years. So
Yeah, and that's who I'm meeting with on the 20th. Yeah, I'll get everyone connected. I didn't realize that, Valerie. That's great.
And also Santa Rosa JC now has a Rotaract Club
Oh, good.
with 12 members.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I just thought we'd start with Sonoma State since that would be the closest venue. And then I wanted all of us to, we have 8 districts of Rotaractors. And this may be a wonderful opportunity to, I think, Jill, a lot of us, we lost several clubs as well. That were quite good. And then it all fizzled, during COVID. So this could be a real bonus to our conference.
Mhm.
And, if we only got 5 Rotaractors from each district, that's 40 Rotaractors. So
Mhm.
we could really make an impact by pulling this together. So I'd like you to all go back to your districts and if you could research this, even if you know nothing about Rotaract in your district, maybe you could find out for us and start getting some contacts and we could, that would be really, really helpful. I'll reach out to all the district governors as well and let them know. But I think it's going to be up to the folks on the committee to really drive it
Mhm.
in that sense. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi. Haven't talked to you in a long time, Cynthia.
Hi, sorry I was late. Gary gave me an old link. Sorry he can't be here today.
Yeah, well, we've had a good discussion. We talked about Jennifer Jones is going to be with us as much as we like on Friday. So we're looking for a venue where we want Rotaractors involved, number one. Also the attendees and possibly, and this is a little bit on the back burner, interactors or the exchange students, even though they're going to be invited on Sunday. And then we talked a little bit about sponsorships and Sheila Hurst may be able to help us at least talk to some larger sponsors. And Tom Boylan, our now past district governor, is helping approach some banks here in Sonoma County, Exchange Bank and Poppy Bank and a couple other. The problem with that is they're local. Trying to find, I think someone trying to get a business that covers the 8 districts is more the ideal. So for all of us, if you have those names and any way of approaching them, again, either let me know or that might be the easiest, and then I can pass it along to Jeff for the sponsorships. What's next there? Let's see. Suzanne, did you want to talk a little bit about marketing materials?
Yes. The first piece that I've been working on is the idea to have the districts put in their district newsletters about the peace conference. And Jim, this came after we were going back and forth. Turns out our newsletter is going out Monday, and we decided it was much better to have the website ready to go because you've got such wonderful information there. So it will hit our district in August, which actually probably is better because school will be getting back in order, families will be doing things. But we do want that newsletter piece to get out to all the districts. Also, we'll be working on flyers and postcards. And I probably will have something to you, Jim, next week.
Okay. And we do have a printer. If you have a printer that can do it for free, then we can just send you the PDF so that, what Susan puts together. Otherwise, I will have our printer print it and then get you these materials. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have that ready to go. So you can I know, Jill, you had asked for some materials on your visits. So we're a little bit behind the 8 ball, but I think we'll get caught up pretty quick.
Oh, and one thing too, like for your, I didn't even think of the district governor visits. So we'll have QR codes on material that'll go to the website once that's in a good shape. And that could even be added to your PowerPoints, I guess. I hadn't thought about that. So Jill and Jim, are you guys using PowerPoints in your presentations, your governor visits?
Yes.
No.
Okay,
We always have in the past, and we're trying to shake it up this year a little.
okay.
Yeah, and I have a slide on the on the conference, and I also have the film. I show the film. It's about,
The YouTube video is very, very good.
yeah, I did that with AI. I just typed it in.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, my,
Who
God.
did it? Did you do it?
yeah.
really?
It took
Holy
a couple
moly.
hours, but I did this AI program. You pay $25 a month and tell them what you want, and then swap out some of the photos and stuff. And I
Oh my
I
God.
changed the voice a couple times. It was a Brit one time, and if I got the voice, but it was all AI generated.
Oh my goodness. I'm shocked. I'm gonna test that on people. See if they can tell. I could not tell.
Yeah.
Is there a link to it on the website? Sorry to interrupt, Susan. I know you've had your hand up.
Oh, it's on the website. Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
great.
it's,
Front
it's on
page.
the front page of the website. You can just click
Excellent.
on it, and
Okay.
so go to whatever the website is, Peace Conference, Rotary Peace Conference 2025. And our link will pop up first or second. Rotary International's Peace Conference is starting to beat us on the listing, but
And just lest you think that, 5170 never does PowerPoints. We have monthly leadership team meetings, and I do a PowerPoint for those because they're mostly Zoom, and have had the link for our website on that every month for, probably last 6 months. And then I share the PowerPoint slides themselves with everybody on my leadership team, so they all have that.
Okay. Well, are there other, I was just thinking the, again, newsletter. I was thinking the standard flyers or postcards, and maybe it's postcards that work to pass out. I'm not sure we'll play with that. But what other things might you want? I mean, any graphics to put on your website? Maybe this video should go on everybody's website. Any thoughts? Okay, I'll brainstorm with you.
Suzanne,
You and
the
Jill, you are district governors.
the video I'll send out to all 8 of us district governors and see if they can get it on their website.
Okay, because I think it's really awesome. I think it's really awesome. And I guess the other group that, and again, I'm thinking of our district format, AGs are critical. Anything unique or special for AGs to have when they're meeting with presidents? I don't know. If you have any needs that pop up in your mind that are not just this traditional, email me.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And yeah, I think if we get all that to the president or to the governors to pass out either to their AGs or actually at their visits, that would be a good start. Suzanne, you had a question or a thought?
I think it got answered. What I wanted to know is there more work being done on the website still for our peace conference? What's the status?
It should be, there's a whole new site. Actually, Suzanne and I have taken a look at it. If I can toggle around, I'll try to put the quick link in there, but it's going to be finished next week.
Okay, that's the answer.
So right now, there's not much there, but by next week, we'll have it all done. And that brings us to the next topic. And I was hoping Carol would be here, but she probably got tied up.
She's traveling, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she is launching registration. And that's kind of Carol's thing, but I was thinking at least, probably the earliest we're going to be able to do it is mid-August. I don't think that's too bad. All of us have done conferences. I think even if we do it at, September 1st, we're still in the ball game. Any thoughts on that?
I think that would work.
Okay.
Because people, I guess, when does school start? Is that like the 3rd week of August or something?
August, yeah.
Because that's when people start getting back in their routines.
Depends on where you are.
Oh,
August,
it really
early
varies a
September.
lot, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, okay. I always remember starting after Labor Day.
That was then.
Me too. That was,
Yeah.
Valerie, did you speak to Carol at all about how we would handle registration?
Sorry, I forgot where unmute was. No, we just said, that we're gonna do that. The thing I don't know how to do, is allowing the participant to actually register in Greater Giving. We've never done that in my club. We just use Greater Giving that that I enter everybody, and it does make more sense to have them do it themselves. But she knows how to do all that, and she also is very familiar with silent auction items and things like that. So I know she's on board with doing that, but I haven't talked to her from Carol in a while. I don't know if she's away or whatever.
Yeah, I communicated with her this week via email. I didn't know she'd be away. Well, here's the other thing for all of us. So if you can share or help in any way, until we really know exactly what we're doing on Friday, I don't think we can open registration. So,
That's
but
right.
that, that still gives us.
I agree with that. Doing registration for the last 14 years for district conference and training assemblies and everything else. We have more people register in the last 4 weeks than the whole rest of the time it's open. I've always said that our application for membership should say, "Are you a procrastinator?" And if they say no, tell them they're not going to fit in.
However, I got an
Love that,
email
Valerie.
yesterday. I got an email yesterday from 2 Rotarians in Asheville, North Carolina, wanting to know when registration was opening.
Oh, awesome.
And I got an email from a gentleman, a Rotarian in India who offered to speak. So because the site, that's why I wanted to get the site out a long time ago, even though it wasn't complete. At least it starts, people start finding it when they put in Peace Conference 2025. And
Awesome.
the folks from Asheville were very sincere. They wanted to come.
Awesome.
So I have them and probably another 5 folks around on my email list to let them know when registration opens. So
Awesome.
whether they come or not, who knows, but they certainly are interested. I really feel that this having a peace conference is a real priority for people. It's something they want to do. And the last bit of information I'll pass to you, because Susan and I communicated about it today. We have a list of folks to work in the breakout sessions, but we haven't confirmed them yet. We're pretty confirmed on our plenary speakers. So over the next few weeks, I'll be recontacting the breakout speakers. And if you have someone who can deliver a real good, 45-minute education program on peace, send me their names and their information and we can recontact them if you're not sure. We had a pretty good list going several months ago and we'll go back into that. But now that we have the breakout rooms, which there's 4 rooms, we can utilize them all day Saturday and Sunday, at least half the day Sunday. So whatever your thoughts are on that part of the weekend, we need to start getting those shored up. Suzanne?
Can you resend the list of potentials for your breakouts? Because I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah,
And
I'll resend that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And that's the key word. They're pretty much potential. I don't know if I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, but I had a conversation with the manager of KRCB Radio, and they want to do a panel. It sounded really good. It's all about communicating when you have diverse backgrounds and opinions. And how to
Very good.
communicate. Yeah, it was really good. They had actually done a program at our club about a year ago. And so I kept it in the back of my mind, called her up. She's very interested, very active. So I know we've kicked around all these ideas. But you throw them back at me. and we'll start putting together, Carol and Ramesh and, Ann Gosby, who are not here today, we're starting to put together a minute by minute. But basically what we want to do is have the 3 general sessions on Saturday and Friday night that have several speakers, perhaps small vignettes. I think Suzanne, you mentioned that. Jill, all our experiences at Pets has been a real good model for us, to where we can bring lots of information, lots of ideas, and bring in different cultural music and entertainment, short things, nothing for an hour and a half, but for 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, so people can get both inspired and educated. And that's what we want to start putting together now. And then the last thing would be, these breakout sessions.
Cool.
So that's it for today. Welcome, Carol.
Oh, did she not hear you?
She wasn't all the way connected. Now she'll hear you.
Well,
Now
that's
she'll
it for
hear.
today, everybody. Thank you for attending. Oh, hi, Carol.
I'm sorry. I've started working and my alarm didn't go off. Anyway, no excuses. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Well, it's been a great meeting. We've got a lot done. Just a 15-second recap. We have some folks looking into our Friday event with the Rotaractors and the attendees and Jennifer Jones. We have a lead on a good sponsor, being Black Bear Diner. And Susan Hurst is going to help us with that.
Sheila Hurst.
Sheila Hurst, I'm sorry.
Too many S's.
Yeah, right. And we went over all the marketing materials. We hope to have the website launched in full, ready to go next week. And then Suzanne's going to put together some hard copies, some marketing materials that all of the districts can use. And backing up, all of the districts are going to be contacting their Rotaract clubs to find their involvement in the Friday afternoon sessions. And that's about it. We did have a question, Carol, on launching registration. We all thought, by September 1st would be fine. Is that?
We had it, at one point we had talked about July. At another point, we talked about August. I think September is fine. The key, of course, is going to be able to figure out are we selling it in chunks, or is it all going to be one, you buy one thing and then you get access to everything for that, and what the price is going to be. So and I know that Anne was having a conversation about some specific pieces of the hotel food and beverage that was going to have an impact on that. So we were going to talk about that. So I think doing September 1st is a great idea.
Yeah, and right now, I think the price is $285, which it would include, that fits our budget, Friday night, all day Saturday and Sunday. That's would be 190 attendees. What we don't know is what costs may be incurred for Friday afternoon. So that's what we have to find out in the next couple of weeks.
Did I just miss something? Did we have a venue for Friday afternoon?
No, we're thinking Sonoma State University. Alice Gabois and Mary Graves are going to help with that, and the Rotaractors, to see what we can come up with at Sonoma State. That's our first thought. And so hopefully we'll know in the next couple of weeks what we can do there.
Is the thought to do the Friday social then at Sonoma State as well and not at the hotel?
Oh, that wasn't a thought.
Okay, so the idea would be to leave the social at the hotel, but just do something during the day at Sonoma State.
Yeah, I was thinking, just knowing how all of us have attended, similar conferences. If we did something from 2 to 5 or 2 to 4, then they're gonna get a couple hour break and then they come to the reception Friday night.
Mhm.
Which can be a more formal opening, so to speak. But let's see how we can get things planned in the other districts. Cynthia.
Just 2 cents. I particularly don't care for registrations that offer Saturday, Sunday, or or the full package. And my experience has been as if you're conducting a conference and you want it to flow from one day to the next, the people that come in on Saturday and then they leave before that night, it's just really, they lose so much in it. Either commit to coming or don't come at all. It's like, because they come and the programs have to keep changing, and it's just, there's no flow to it then. That's what I've discovered.
Well, it also makes it really rough on people providing head counts for various meals and the
Mhm.
rest of it. It's so much easier if, if we know that our prices are covered and our meal costs are covered, then I'm fine if you want to go home early. Bye. And we've got enough money to pay for it, so.
We did have a lot of people at district conference that could not come to all, both meals or 3 meals on Saturday, and you had to pay the full price. And so they said, well, sorry, we're not going to be there. And we lost a lot of people because of that they couldn't just come they wanted to come during the day, but they couldn't necessarily stay for dinner. And that's what they were paying for. And so they just didn't come. So.
Well, and we have had the same thing where we've had variety packages that hit a broader audience. And we've even had some packages where you just pay a portion of the facility fee and you don't get to go to the meals or hear the main speakers, but you get to go to the House of Friendship and get a flavor of it. And then next time they come back because they feel like they missed a lot. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, to send people away feeling like they want to come to the next conference.
Well, some of them couldn't get all the time off from work.
Well, there's that, and it's expensive.
Yeah.
In this case, however, the House of Friendship is going to be in the main meeting room. So
Yeah.
it's not as if they can be over there doing House of Friendship and not be where people are eating. And I think that might not work. But let's be looking at that.
If Jennifer Jones is coming on Friday evening, is it going to be more of a meal than just a reception so that we can have a formal speech from her?
We don't have a place to have a meal.
Oh, I thought you did for Friday night.
At this point, we do not.
Oh.
Well, no,
Oh.
it's the same room that we have all the meals in.
But I didn't think that we had the Vineyard Room on Friday night, Jim.
No, we do. That's
We
the
do.
whole thing. Yeah. We definitely have it Friday evening.
Okay, but we were planning on a reception there, not a full meal, which is okay. If we want to do a meal and she's gonna do like a keynote address, then that change, we have to plan for a meal cost there as opposed to.
I want to hear her speak. I don't want to just shake her hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which we
she's definitely gonna do a presentation Friday night.
Yeah.
And
Okay, well, that's really great to know. So we need to
Make
look.
an adjustment.
That's the other thing as a speaker, you want to have a full audience. You don't want people to say, I'm not going Friday night. And then you spoke that night, you're the opening speaker, and then people not there. I mean, that's the hope. That's what I'm talking about, the flow and the, or the final, the wrap-up speaker, there's nobody there. I mean, that is just, it's not good.
Yeah. I would just add, I mean, we're used to doing the full package, so like Cynthia's describing, so we haven't dealt with the pros or cons, so I don't know how to really respond to that, except we are limited in our space which is only 190, which to me is on the smaller end. The only thing I'd suggest though is on the Friday daytime activities, that be priced differently, because you want the Rotaractors to be able, unless you're saying it's free for them, you know, I don't know. But you'd want them to be able to come without having to have multiple hundreds of dollars to go to the whole thing. So
Yep.
that's my only thought there.
Yeah, if anything, at least right now, and we can further discuss this once we know what's going on Friday afternoon, we could make Friday afternoon with Jennifer optional as an add-on to the
Right,
weekend, not an optional when you don't do the rest. You know,
right,
even
right.
if it's a nominal
You
fee.
can add it on, yeah.
Mhm.
know,
But
so
her
if
dinner
it-
should be part of the package or whatever. However
Exactly.
you guys work it out, yeah.
So, but we'll get that puzzle piece, you know, as to what we can do on Friday with Jennifer, the Rotaractors, and the attendees that want to be there. And maybe it's $285 for the Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you want to go to see the film and hear, you know, whatever that, you know, it's another $60, or what have you. That can be discussed by all of us.
The prices you're quoting, Jim, are lower than the prices on my last budget. And I don't think we need to get into all that right now, but I don't have a $280.
Option.
I
'Cause
had
I
a,
was gonna
said-
say
I
that's
said-
in it, that's cheap.
I had a $350 line as the lowest. As the
Yeah, I thought we
lowest.
sent the budget out to everybody, with the announcement the other day.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's-
And it should have, I thought it was 285.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah,
Was
so
it-
that's not the, excuse my, that's not the budget I'm looking at.
Different, but I think the budget I sent out is pretty accurate.
Okay.
And it wasn't on my agenda to discuss that tonight or today. And I think we should address it once we know Friday. You know, it's just the missing component. Everything else is pretty accurate. However, I think getting more sponsorship to help pay for some of these added costs and you know, some of the speakers that are going to need travel expenses and stuff, we need to keep working on. So, any other thoughts, Joe, Hugh, Polly?
I'm still feeling in the dark because I didn't have background. You and I can talk later.
Well, I've been in the dark for months, Polly, so welcome.
I mean, I don't even know what dates we're talking about for this conference. That's how in the dark I am.
January 24th through 26th, 2025.
Thank you. You was thinking of March?
No, January.
January.
It's going to be a great event, and I very much appreciate everybody input. And I know I've gotten emails from several folks. I know Joe, I got some emails that suggested speakers and programs, and I appreciate that. I haven't forgotten about that. I think we're just kind of taking a step at a time. And now we'll start looking at if we need more plenary speakers, which I don't think so, maybe one or two. You know, again, the breakout speakers, if they're really, really good, if you've heard them, and again, the driving topic for all the speakers is to give actionable items that the Rotarians can walk away from, you know, to bring back to their clubs, their communities, and the world in promoting peace. And it could be in any of the 7 areas of focus. You know, talking about the homeless and stuff, I think that fits. You know, I think by the end of the weekend, if we can demonstrate that we've covered in some way each area of Rotary's you know, all the 7 areas, that would make it even more successful weekend for all of us. So that's the other balance we're trying to do.
Agreed.
Actually, could I ask Suzanne to put her phone number in the chat, because I want to call you. Maybe I can help you brainstorm some ideas about Friday afternoon.
Awesome. Let's see, now I have to just get to chat there.
But we're so short on seats in the House that we need to be careful about how many speakers we're really signing up. We'll end up with more of them than guests.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
7:07.
That's a very good point, Chris.
It's a small room.
Yeah.
Can't we just keep the speakers in the wing somewhere?
Don't feed them.
Oh,
No, that's a really
Funny.
good point, though. I mean, that's
It adds a lot, and some of them come with an escort, and yeah.
oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even think of that. Yeah.
So we maybe should hold it to 180 and have 10 seats for participants or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit down. So
Just make the bar the green room.
yeah, right. It'll work. It'll work. We'll get it there. And so any other final thoughts? All right. Well, I'll thank you again. We'll say goodbye. Jill and I are going to stay on for a couple of minutes, and you're all welcome to, but I don't think you'd be interested.
The next meeting date?
In 2 weeks. What is that?
Today is the,
Today is the
12th.
12th. Next meeting would be on the 26th.
26.
And
hopefully-
Joe? I am swamped this weekend because we have a big Rotary event on Sunday, but next week,
Okay,
starting Monday, I
Yeah, good.
am open.
great.
Yeah, and I'll get you guys in touch with the folks at Sonoma State, and we'll all go from there.
Okay, thank you all.
Nice to
Thank
see you
you.
all.
Adios.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Carol. Hey, Jill.
Hey, Jim.
So how you feeling?
Feeling pretty good about it. I think we're gonna have a good year.
Okay.
We're trying to shake things up a little because it was getting so rote. Everybody just came and did the same thing where the DG would come to the clubs and have a set PowerPoint where they'd give, their personal story and then go through, hey, here's how much TRF we gave, here's how our membership's doing,
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
whatever. And it just, people were rolling their eyes over getting DG visits. So I had one of the past district governors, Brad Howard,
Oh.
him, suggest, hey, why don't you try something different this year and do panels? He goes, I did panels my year. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, have your president select a few people to sit on a panel and then, basically get them engaged and say, so here are some of my goals for the year. What are the things you liked about your club? What are your best projects you've ever done? What kinds of things do you want to do in the future? And, get them thinking about what they've really loved about Rotary and then what they want to do more of. So we're trying that. I've got some presidents who, they're in a rut, they're comfortable with the rut. They don't want to get out of the rut.
Oh, yeah.
But some of them, even when reluctantly and I've only done 2 so far, but both of them were a little bit, I'm not sure. And we did it. And then they are like, that was great.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So-
And you'll get better at it too,
Yeah,
you get to
exactly.
ask and to draw out. With the hand wash, it was just ironic. You approach and all of a sudden, I started getting several emails from the folks in our district that are spearheading this.
Yep.
And
I can imagine you have Dan Balfi, you have Kathy King, you have Jennifer Strong, and
Right.
and they said, we have to reach out to Jim O'Grady. I said, Jim O'Grady has to know he can reach out to somebody who's not part of this team if he wants.
Yeah. So do you meet with those folks as well?
Yeah, every other week we meet together.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't
Although I'm going to miss a whole lot because, they meet close enough to lunchtime and I've got a lot of Monday lunch meetings.
Okay. All right. But we're on our way to getting the MOU signed. Is that right?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think there's a few little details they're ironing out, and then I guess I sign it. So that was the flurry of emails that hit the other day. And then I don't know if you know Joe Thornton. She's a
No.
Rotarian in my club, very strong in it. She's given me all kinds of information on Haiti itself and this whole broad program. So like I said, just in the last couple of days, I feel much more comfortable, with the whole thing. And I had, of course, known of it. It's just
Yeah,
too many
we've got a
things.
lot. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's so many balls in the air for any district governor. Water is my passion. You can tell
Yeah.
from my background. That's why I've been involved in the Haiti programs. But it's my piece, my portion of peace with an EA in it, peace, because Haiti is just, it's in such a state of disorganization and these horrible gangs who are more like domestic terrorists are just killing people right and left, for no apparent reason, and sometimes it's political.
Mm.
And they're running the show right now. And then it's aggravated when the rural communities don't have water. So of course the young girls get stuck walking back and forth to collect water somewhere. And if they're walking a couple miles to get water, even if they go as a group, the gangs attack them, and there are gang rapes, there are murders of the young girls. And it's like they're just waiting for them because they know they need the water. So if we can bring a well to the middle of the village, it makes a huge difference. And it's just, the stories that have been coming out of there are horrible. Now, I know they have a peacekeeping force that Kenya is leading up through the United Nations that's just arrived in the last few weeks. But I don't know how quickly it's going to do anything. Leogane is a bigger, I don't think I'd call it a city, but it's what Haitians consider a city. So they've had some water, but the trouble is the various utilities are not dependable there.
Mm.
And so their town well and the pumps that move the water around are all run by diesel generators because city power doesn't really work. And then the gangs blockade the road and steal the fuel so they can't get the diesel to run their generators. And so then the city's out of water, in addition to having no power and no this and no that. So it's like a trickle down effect, if you could imagine a city. And I don't remember how big Leogane is. I think it's close to 100,000, but I could be way off on that, Jim.
Yeah.
But imagine any size sort of town, city, whatever you want to call it, with no water, no power for months on end, or that you get water for, an hour or two a day. And so your project is going to mean so much to them. It's going to have such a huge impact because what they're trying to do is bring in solar panels and at the same time educate folks so that they don't, so that they recognize the need for water and the need for hygiene and sanitation. So it's got all the bits and pieces that'll really hopefully move them forward.
You think you could put together, and you'd have plenty of time, or have someone put together a worthwhile breakout at the peace conference on the relationship between water and peace? I mean, everything you just said is kind of, it doesn't have to be all hand wash in Haiti. That would be the international component. We did a water project with the Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with
I
that.
don't know that one, no.
And it's a few years ago, so my memory is a little off, but on some of the Cherokee reservations, they have no system for water. And I think it was $1,500 per home. You could retool them. So all of a sudden they have running water.
What a difference that makes. Yeah.
Yeah, huge. And if we could do, I'm thinking now of putting together the plenary sessions and of course the breakouts, but even a few vignettes on water, you know, in the larger session, which you could do. And then maybe a breakout session that would give all kinds of opportunities and understanding of how this affects things. I mean, you mentioned the gangs and the young ladies who can't even survive a 2-mile walk, you know, because of water. you
Yeah.
know, and lack of. So would you be willing to explore that?
I can explore it. I probably won't have the time to put things together myself. But I'm sure you know this. There's a water sanitation and hygiene Rotary Action Group,
Right, wash, yeah.
Wash Rag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're, what's he called? Operations Team Chair is, lives in Southern California.
Right.
He's a past district governor, but he's also a frequent president's representative to district conferences and things. And he's very involved in WashRag, and he happens to be a city councilman and have his own business. He's one of these people where you just wonder where he gets all the time. But if we can talk him into at least helping us identify people, and he's in California, he doesn't mind traveling. If he happened to be free that weekend, it would be really great. And it's
Yeah,
early.
that's fine. Yeah, we don't need to invent the wheel, Jill. I mean,
No.
we got too many wheels right now. And
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking, you know, there's not gonna be that many breakout sessions. There's gonna be 4, 8, maybe 12. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have them really, really good, of course. And you know, when I think you and I might have talked about when I did district training this year,
Uh-huh.
I really felt I put together excellent breakout sessions, and
Mhm.
I had them repeated.
Ah,
So I didn't have to have 24 different breakout sessions. I had like 12, but they would do a morning and then the same presenter would do it again in the afternoon. So
gotcha.
people would not miss one. You
Gotcha.
know, or 90 wouldn't go to one and 12 to the other because
Uh-huh.
they were afraid and that worked out really, really well. I'm thinking if in the next month or two, we come up with really dynamic breakout sessions, we just repeat them.
Yeah.
And so, at 9 o'clock is water, but then at 3 o'clock it's repeated.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I have no problems with that. And I think that, once you put together a presentation like a PowerPoint set of slides, it doesn't even have to be the same person giving it.
Right. That's a good point too. And, but I'll follow up. I'll contact WashRag and talk to that gentleman and see what.
Well, if you want, I can make an electronic introduction.
Oh, good. Okay.
And he just agreed. I hate to ask him again. I mean, he literally an hour ago agreed to come out and help me at my mid-October. We do an extra event called the Avenues of Service. And we talk about, international and community and all that. And we have project fairs, and so he's going to be our keynote speaker at that.
Cool.
So
no, that's okay. I mean, they're months apart, and
and as I say, he's really just inspirational. Whatever you ask him to talk about, he's got quite the family story too. I think it was his parents were, because he's of Japanese descent, they were in those World War II internment camps. And so, I mean, he can talk, and he's a polio survivor, and you can pick almost anything and this guy can talk about it. You know what? I'll send you, before I give you the electronic introduction, I'll just give you a quick link to his.
Oh, he sounds wonderful. I mean, that's what we need. I mean, we know you need kind of some named people just to draw attention to the conference, but you really want content.
Yeah.
And so someone like that sounds wonderful. Even if they, I'm inviting the plenary speakers if they want to do a breakout, that's fine too. You know, do both.
Yeah.
You know, and someone like that could do a small talk at one of the general sessions, and then after the general session does their breakout.
Yeah.
You know, I want to utilize the best people, you know, and also utilize their time, so they're not just coming up and doing a short thing, but they could, yeah, now you can go educate. So
Yeah.
I would be willing to have a conversation. Now, do you pay for his travel and hotel and all that?
You know, he's a kind of interesting guy. So far, he hasn't been charging me, but he's also a friend, so I let him stay at my house. You
Oh,
know, it's kind of like Jennifer Jones staying with Brad Howard. You know, sometimes
nice.
the costs aren't as great because you're just rolling out the red carpet. You know, I even had Vicky Police stay at my house with her husband once. She and Tim hung out here for a weekend. It was just great. And she did my pre-pets big, she was my introductory speaker to get everybody excited about pets.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's gonna be there, so.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I haven't called her yet, but I was gonna chat with her on the phone about her talk, but also to see if maybe her and Win wanted to put together a breakout session. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
that
team
would be
up
great.
and again, taking not only their expertise, but using their time wisely, so not just hanging around all day.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that makes
it'll be
sense.
up to them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
All
And
right. See you
thanks
soon
for
then.
everything, Jill.
No problem. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.